Hi there, and welcome to the Direct Line powered by 10Bet. I'm Nick Kurkritsuris as we head towards another feature race in South Africa. It's the running of the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met coming up on Saturday, the 31st of January. And on today's show, we'll be chatting to 10Bet ambassadors Butch James and Herschel Gibbs to ask them what they fancy for the big race. But coming up later on the show, we chat to Dubai racing commentator Pat Comerford about the South African horse that went to run over there just a couple of days ago, Quid Pro Quo, and we ask him how his season is going in Dubai leading up to the Dubai World Cup, which runs at the end of March. And finally on the show, we start off our competition where a lucky viewer can win a 500 Rand 10Bet voucher. That's all coming up on the Direct Line powered by 10Bet. Well, it's great to have our 10Bet ambassadors, Butch and Herschel, with me today to discuss the big race that comes up on Saturday, the 31st of January. It's the Cape Town Met, always an occasion that people want to be seen at. But unfortunately, both guys won't be going to the Met this year. So I said, well, let me get them now ahead of the day and ask them what they fancy for the big race. A warm welcome to the guys, which you know, I don't need to introduce them to you. But,
hi, Nico.
Let's start off with Butch. You've looked at the field. There's 11 runners only, which is a bit sad because normally there's a lot more. But I think that a lot of the horses have run away from the opposition this year around because we've got last year's winner 8 on 18 in the race. He's on the comeback trail. Justin Snaith, 6 of the 11 horses, Butch.
Yeah, look, it's interesting you're asking us about horse racing. Herschel doesn't even know anything about cricket, so you're not going to get too many good answers from him. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the race. Obviously, being from Durban and Nick Johnson also being from Durban and his horse 8 on 18, I'm really hoping that he can get another victory. I was hoping he would win the July last year, but got pipped at the post there. So yeah, I really hope that 18 on 18 can get a victory.
Herschel is busy with the SA20 at the moment, which is going really well. I mean, it's looking excellent. And we're in those closing stages now. So just before we start on horse racing, who's your tip to win that?
But I still think Sunrisers Eastern Cape are the team to beat. And today they play, the first playoff. Hopefully they go. The winner of today goes straight through to the final. But they'll be orange. There'll be an orange, hopefully an orange colour at Sunday at Newlands. But I was thinking of colour. I think obviously the Met.
Yeah.
Not sure what is the theme this year. Would you know?
Symphonies.
As a man that calls it, do you also have to apply with the theme?
God help me if I do.
Yeah.
God help me if I do. It's got something to do with symphony.
Okay.
Symphonies in it somewhere.
Okay. And you the conductor.
Yeah. Look, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'll be representing 10Bet there, and I will be with our other ambassador, Adam Marcus, whose stable is flying at the moment.
Wonderful.
He must have had 5 or 6 winners in the last few weeks, so it's really good.
Oh, that's great news.
I think it's ever since we had that lunch.
Yeah, it was. We just gave him a bit of motivation, told him.
Absolutely. Ever since that lunch.
Yeah, he saw my T-bone steak then. I think he's been feeding the horses that thing ever since.
And he saw his what he was drinking on the day.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just
you're going to have to explain to Herschel what happened at lunch because he remembers nothing.
No, when I saw him, I said, "Please don't tell me."
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that gave him a kickstart to the festivities.
So our good mate Adam, well done to Adam Marcus.
Yeah.
He's absolutely blazing a trail down in Cape Town. So you've looked at the field. The horse that won the July is a horse called the Real Prince.
I love that name. I love the name, the Real Prince.
Mm.
In my short history of being on this planet Earth, they used to have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's right.
In the boxing fraternity, you had Prince Nazim Hamid. And they were all characters. Yeah. And that is why I'm going with the Real Prince.
Yeah.
The Real Prince for me.
You Prince Hamid all the time.
You Prince Hamid.
It's not a bad shot, actually. I'd take after you, but it's fine. It's not a bad shot. I mean, we all tens, we all tens. The tens like to be Hamid. But the Real Prince is the man I'm going with. And long meters goes out there and he goes all the way.
They were looking at the LKP. They were looking for you high and low, and they never found you. You always go to the Lomrans.
Unfortunately, I didn't have any blue and white in my cupboard.
Okay.
In the closet, but definitely next season. Next year?
Yeah.
Not missing out, definitely.
Okay,
it's been a while.
So it's the Real Prince.
The Real Prince for me.
So Herschel's gone for the Real Prince. Butch, 8 on 18.
8 on 18.
Okay. I'm tipping a bit of a roughie to finish up in the money. A horse called Gladiatorian, a horse from Durban. that ran in the King's Plate and didn't run too well, but I think at 12 or 14 to 1, I think he's got a sneak. And also the other also I wanted to mention was See It Again, because he's ridden by jockey Andrew Fortune, who is certainly on the comeback trail and riding really well. So that's all on that front. But before you guys go, I need your big help with something, because later on in the show, we're launching our competition for the Direct Line, and we've got a whole host of entrants now. So I'm going to ask Butch to draw the contestant that'll play with us. He's got them all in there, and there's been quite a few entries. And then Herschel, I'll pick up on you just in a moment. So
Okay, that's
before
great.
you go, Butch, pick us a name out of there that'll be our first contestant, and I'll tell you what they'll be doing in a second.
Sheesh, you say quite a few entries. It's like confetti in here. There must be 1,000 in here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to a wedding, so
Yeah.
just tell us who
Okay.
the name is on there, if you can pronounce it. If you can't, hand it over. But what is the name?
Who was writing this?
A doctor.
The doctor.
Yeah.
There's a prescription, yeah. You've got to get some
Okay, do you need my glasses?
Disprin. Let me see your glasses there.
Okay, take my glasses and have a look. Right, so that's the winner.
Jeepers. No, that's even worse. It's even worse now.
Is it worth? Okay, so
What's
It's
the winner's
Craig.
name?
I think it's Craig Lowe. Is that? Have a look there. What the or Love or Lowe?
Craig Lowe is correct.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Craig Lowe.
absolutely. So Craig Lowe is the winning contestant. Now, what this person does, there'll be a contestant every week, and they'll come up against me in a tipping competition, right? But we're going to empty all the other entrants out of here, all the 1,003 that have gone there.
Can
Right
use it,
now, what they'll do is they'll come up against me in a weekend competition, okay? So now the next question is, which race meeting are we going to be tipping on? So we're going to choose the last 6 races of the race meeting that we choose, and I'm going to open these over here, either the Saturday or the Sunday meeting.
Yeah.
Sunday there's racing at Hollywood Bet, Scottsville and Maritzburg, and Saturday there's racing at the Vaal Race Course in Johannesburg. Right, so you're going to mingle those around. You're going to choose which meeting we're tipping on, and
Basically, the venue.
the venue.
Yeah.
So now the winner, Craig, will have to out-tip me. If he gets more winners than me on the day, he will win the 500 Rand betting voucher. However, if I get more winners than him, or it's a tie, that money rolls over to the next week and becomes 1,000 Rand.
All right.
So, which meeting we're tipping on, the Vaal or Scottsville?
Let's see. And the meeting will be held at the Vaal, Scottsville.
Okay.
No,
Which one is it?
that is the Vaal.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's at the
Saturday the 24th.
So Saturday the 24th, the meeting is the Vaal. You confused me there a bit.
Oh.
Now,
Prince Hamid.
it's the last 6 races of the day that we're doing, okay? So it's either Craig or me that tips on odds or evens. So
Okay.
it's the odd or even races, and that's either odds or evens, and he will get to tip on the last 6 races of the day, but which races for Craig?
Even.
Even. So Craig will tip on races going backwards 10, 8, and 6. Okay. And I will tip on obviously 5, 7, and 9. And whoever tips the most number of winners out of 3 will then win the cash. If it's me, it stays with us. If it's Craig, he'll get the 500.
Must say,
However, if it's a tie, it goes to the next week.
Lots of numbers flying around. You accountant maybe in your past life.
No, hey, Herschel, this is what we learnt at school, eh?
But it's
Unbelievable.
time for us to say, and away they go.
No,
So
away
you
they
wanna do
go.
it?
But the odds and evens was in matric. I don't know if you got there.
Almost. Almost.
So at the moment, we worked out that it is at the Vaal Scottsville, as you said.
Correct.
It's at the
Yeah.
Vaal. It's definitely the Vaal, Saturday the 24th. And finally, thanks very much to our guys. Thanks, Butch. Thanks,
Thanks,
Herschel.
Nico.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
And
Causing some
and when we
confusion.
move on to our next interview, which will be with the leading commentator, one of the leading commentators in the world, commentator in Dubai, Pat Comerford, I'll say to these guys, away they go.
And away we go.
Well, our very first guest on today's show is Dubai race commentator Pat Comerford. He did come and call a few races in Johannesburg, was a guest in our commentary box at Turffontein, and he's a man that we're no stranger to. Certainly, if you watch racing in Dubai, you watch all the tracks over there, your main man is Pat Comerford. And Pat, great for you to be on the Direct Line powered by 10Bet. Thanks very much for agreeing to come on.
Yeah, hi Nico. Great to be with you again. It's great to obviously get into the business end of the season here. We're well into 2026, the first of the big three coming up this weekend with Fashion Friday, and yeah, look, it was very pleasant to see a return of a horse. I know she's no longer a South African horse, but certainly a horse who cut her teeth in the country, and I'd very much consider her a South African born and bred, going off her breeding and what she's done in her career thus far. Great to see Quid Pro Quo put in a good race. Wasn't able to get the win, but showed signs of a horse that is going to be going on with it, and hopefully will be able to pick up a winner's check here this season.
Well, that's fantastic because, as you know, the export protocols have been relaxed somewhat here in South Africa over the past sort of year, 18 months, and we're now seeing our horses going overseas. We also have our horse One Stripe running in the big Pegasus Turf Invitational over at Gulfstream Park this coming weekend too. So that's great news for us. You were particularly impressed by her, the way she ran. She gave it her all up until the line.
Yeah, look, I mean, she had every excuse not to be fully screwed down for this race, Nico. You would never expect a mare who's returning, especially at 4, to be coming into a new country. If she was able to do it in that small field, I mean, it would have been very, very impressive. The market trended towards Dubai Beach later on in the race, just with that Dubai Treasure in the race being that speedster horse that was going to go forward, was probably short of its ideal trip. But it set up a genuine tempo for a horse like Dubai Beach to get back off them, run home, and really target the race. And I mean, Syed Bin Saror probably set the race up perfectly with the two runners. Dubai Beach got all favours, whereas Quid Pro Quo was up against both of those horses, having to try and run the most genuine race possible. But, you can tell with Godolphin there were tactics at play, and, Dubai Treasure wasn't hampered in her chances as a result. She ran very, very good, but, they utilised the speed to create a genuine tempo so that Dubai Beach could rattle home from the back. And, look, Quid Pro Quo, as I said, she did everything that she needed to do, and there's going to be some nice targets for her later on in the season, and I'm sure the Rainier stable have got a nice map planned out for her.
Great to have a shot of the big Maidan behind you. It must be a wonderful track to call at. And as you know, I've been in regular contact with you. The excitement that you generate in that commentary box is something to behold. I know both you and I mold ourselves on getting people excited and G'd up during the running of the race. But it's going well, Pat, and you're loving it.
I am. Look, it's my third season here now, Nico. I wouldn't keep coming back to this country if I wasn't very, very ecstatic with, the job at hand. It's a beautiful place to live. I mean, we get here and I'm here for the 7 best months from a weather perspective. On top of that, the racing is just absolutely sublime. And, the DRC as a racing organisation, they're great to work for. The Emirates Racing Authority, they do a wonderful job, and they make it such a hospitable place for people like myself, seasonal commentators coming in, and other seasonal workers to come in and enjoy this place for what it is. But also, the racing product itself is fantastic. And it just, continues to get better and better with more countries getting involved and bringing horses out here. I mean, it's like the G6 Summit here at the International Barn at the moment. We've got one from nearly every country in the world. It's fantastic.
Now, I know that the Dubai World Cup is obviously the pinnacle of the racing season there, and that comes up still in a couple of months yet. Early predictions on would you hazard a guess on what the top horse would be that's going to come over and contest the race? What your likely winner would be?
I'm not too sure. Look, some of the feature races, we've sort of got a few horses that are certainly 1 foot in, 1 foot out, as to be expected. You don't know how these horses are going to go in their preparations and lead ups. It can all change, in a blink of an eye for some of these horses. There's been obviously a lot of talk about Sovereignty potentially coming across for the Dubai World Cup, which would be an unbelievable achievement if the club were able to get a horse of his caliber here. And look, I mean, he's a horse that in his own right, he's had his fair share of issues over the journey. So, that we'd love to have him here, but we also understand that he's a horse at the back end of his career, and he's had those niggles over the journey. So it's just whether or not, we're going to have these horses ready to go, and if that opportunity is going to present themselves where they're going to be fit enough and targeting these races here at the back of the season. So, we've got, there's a lot of talk about some really good horses coming here. Again, as we said, there's a lot of lead ups in between there. We've got We've got the Saudi Cup coming up very soon. I'm sure that the results of that and how the performances are of some of the horses in the Saudi Cup are going to determine whether or not they're going to make that decision to head across to Dubai and continue on in the Dubai World Cup. It's a lot of these dirt horses. It's a start by start process, and we've just got to sort of make do with the information that we've got at the moment. But I'm sure in the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks we'll start to know a little bit more.
And you know what? That gives me the opportunity of contacting you again to appear just a couple of weeks before the big race, where we can pin you down and say, Pat, give us your likely winner of the big one coming up at the end of March. Pat Comerford, great seeing you again. Continue doing a fantastic job over there, and looking forward to seeing your racing and the prospects of quid pro quo. Thanks very much, Pat.
Yeah, thanks, Nico. Thanks for having me, and best of luck to everyone this weekend. Hopefully they can find a winner or two.
Well, we've come to the end of the show. There's no Nico's Notebook on today's show, but primarily we're focusing in on our first competition week. And it's Craig Lowe, if you didn't hear a bit earlier on, that has won the competition and got the right to win that R500 10-bet betting voucher. We'll be in contact with Craig. Craig will be tipping at the Vaal meeting this coming Saturday, the 24th of January. And he will have his races, his even races to pick to choose winners in. So that's races 6, 8, and 10. He'll have to choose a horse in each of those races, and hopefully it wins. And he'll come up against me as the host, and I'll be choosing races 5, 7, and 9, the last 6 races of the day. And whoever tips the most number of winners will win the R500. However, if Craig doesn't manage to tip more than me, then that money stays in the pool, and we bang it up to R1,000 on the next show. Those tips that Craig and I give will both be publicly available before the Vaal meeting kicks off on Saturday. Just one final thing: if the horse is scratched that either him or I tip, that will go on to the tote favourite for that particular race. That's it for this edition of the Direct Line, powered by 10Bet. Looking forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks very much to my special guests in studio, Butch James and Herschel Gibbs, and of course to Pat Comerford. And until the next time, stay safe and goodbye.